Hello everyone, welcome to Witch Hollow Homestead. Today I am going to show you my vertical gardens and how they're coming along. I did plant some of the things early, so stuff is definitely coming in. And some of the spinach that I planted actually has to be harvested, which I'm very excited about. So let's go check it out. Here are our vertical gardens, and oh, you can see me there, but that's okay. Looking at the gardens are more important. So this is the original one from last year, and I did buy a second one this year. So the first 4 tiers of this are spinach. Okay, so I planted the spinach, which I was correct, in March on 3/22 because it said to plant 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. So that's exactly what I did, and they're coming in really nicely. I had 4 that didn't come in, so I reseeded those just yesterday, and they should pop up pretty quickly. Okay, this up top here is the anise hyssop from last year, which this is how I realized that it comes back each year, and I didn't know it. I mean, look at the size of some of these leaves. I did not have leaves this big last year. So now that I know more about anise hyssop, kind of like the echinacea that I had mentioned previously, I would plant it, probably not harvest much of it, and wait till the second year because it is going to flourish the second year. I mean, my gosh, that's a huge leaf. And so is this one. Oh my goodness, it's like the size of the palm of my hand. So very happy. And I didn't know that was going to come back up. It was a surprise to me when I came out and saw it already starting to come up at the end of March. I was very excited. And then in this tier, which you can't see anything yet, but I planted 2 basil, and then this is a Tulsi that I had started inside. This one I planted a little early and it did get hit with some frost, but it's taking its time to come back. It'll spring back. And then in these 2, I have 2 Tulsi as well. I have one more tier to put on this, and that one more tier is going to have lettuce, but I am going to plant that Memorial Day weekend because I already have another tower of lettuce started, and I kind of want to space it out so I don't have 12 heads of lettuce at the exact same time. Let's go over to our other bed. So we're going to start down here at the bottom. These are marshmallow plants. I have 6 of them. I started those from seed inside, and I learned last year to plant them on the bottom because they're going to grow to be about 4 to 5 feet tall, and they look really nice in the vertical garden when they do that. So I have those at the bottom. The next row is parsley, and the parsley I purchased from the greenhouse I like. I wanted to purchase that because that's just an easy, quick pickup, and I don't have to seed it myself. The next row is basil. I purchased this basil from the greenhouse, and then going forward, I'm going to seed my basil. But the reason I do it like this is because basil likes a lot of warm temperatures, and if I start it myself, I have to start it inside. I can't put it out till late, which I didn't want to do. So this kind of gives me a jump start, and then I can plant basil in some of the other garden beds, and it has time to grow throughout the summer. This row that you don't see anything in, but I promise some is starting to come up, that is the lettuce, which that took a little while to get that to come up this year because it's been cool, but it is finally starting to sprout, and I have 6 of those. And then in this next tier, I have all Tulsi plants or holy basil. Really big fan of the holy basil, and I did not grow enough last year. So this year I am growing as much as I possibly can fit. And then the last tier that's going to go on top, that is going to be cilantro that I will get from the greenhouse, and I will do 6 cilantro plants. Funny, I'm not a huge fan of cilantro. I know it's good for me, and I will choke it down. But I'm a huge fan of coriander, which is once cilantro goes to seed. So my goal is to use some of the cilantro and then have a bunch of it go to seeds so that I can have those for the rest of the season. I'm going to show you one more thing before we stop this video, and then I will do another one to show you some of the other beds. So here you're looking at 3 rosemary plants. I buy rosemary every year. If I put these pots in the garage or in the house during the winter, I could probably keep the rosemary throughout the winter, but I don't. I tend to leave them out here and then the plants die because of the extreme cold and wet that we have. So here are my 3 new rosemary plants. Very excited. I found that last year 3 plants was exactly what I needed. It wasn't too much, but it was definitely like the right amount. Thank you so much for joining me today at Witch Hollow Homestead. I still have other beds to show you, which I will do in another video. I also have one bed out front which hasn't been planted yet. It's May 13th. That one I'll get planted, some of it tomorrow, but I will explain more about it when I get to those beds out front. Happy homesteading!